Finally, the election is over. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time you're watching this, welcome and greetings. Finally, the election is over. I don't know about you, but to me, it felt like a long time. I'm gonna review some points about the election and give some improvement points for the next election. So as you can see, you got a little formal on this one, got my tie, got my Oxford. So let's dive in. This video is not gonna be anything about political views. I just wanna see how we can simplify things and make it better for the next election. So the reason I'm saying this is because whenever I look at life, whenever I'm given something to do, the way I do it, I wanna improve on it so that way next time it'll be easier. The election was on November 3rd, today is November 7th. On November 3rd, Biden should have won by then. Get it? See what I did there? First thing I want to start off with in terms of making things easier is reviewing and reflecting on the presidential debates. We need some major changes for upcoming debates. And what I'm talking about is, number one, we need to implement timers. And I'm talking hard stop timers. If you have to mute the microphones, mute the microphones. They need to put the timer on the screen so each candidate can see how long they have and then know, okay, I'm going to stop now because my time is running out. Number two, they need a very stern moderator. Not saying he did a bad job, but sitting there, he's not very forceful. He's not really implementing, hey, stop, the time is over. We need someone who is a little bit more strict. And if it sounds rude, it doesn't matter. The debate was really crazy. Everyone was just basically talking over each other and we really couldn't understand some of the points. If we have a very stern moderator, we can help with that. The third point, which is the most important point to me, is we need a fact checker. A fact checker. A fact checker. Everyone is up there and they say a bunch of things and we don't know if it's true or not. But if we have a fact checker, someone who is gonna point it out that, hey, this was actually a good point, hey, this is actually false, then we can actually vote properly instead of just having a war of words and no one knows who was right, who was wrong. We need a fact checker. Okay, number two. So this point is going to be how we can simplify, in my opinion, the election process itself, the voting process itself. So number one, I believe the mail-in ballots should be done earlier. So that way each state can actually have time to get the mail and also start earlier, because obviously you have to open every single letter, count the names, write it down, register it. That's a long time. That's why we had to wait basically 4 days. So if we do it earlier, then we can get it earlier and at least get those stats in. Also, this is a little crazy because this pandemic is probably staying forever, unfortunately. But we need to probably start thinking about how to do some online voting. I mean, it's the 21st century. We are in the technology age. There has to be some secure way of doing this online. This may take a very long time and a very long process, but we really gotta start thinking about this because standing in line for hours is basically torture. We need to figure out a way that we can do this securely. Another problem I have with this point about making the election process easier is states not calling it official. So many hours I watched it, and some states were 97%, 99%, and they still would not call the winner for that state. Now here's what I'm saying. I totally understand we have to get every vote. Your vote counts, I get it. But here's something that I want you to think about. If the total number of votes is 10 and 7 votes have gone to Biden, that means they're waiting on 3 votes. Basic math would tell you, even if the other person gets those 3 votes, it would not matter. The numbers were really crazy and far apart, but it didn't really make sense why they just didn't call it. I think they drawn it out a little too long, in my opinion. Okay, my third improvement point is about protests and rallies outside of the counting centers. It's dangerous, it's scary, it's unnecessary, it's uncalled for, it's dumb. I strongly don't believe that there should be people waiting outside for no reason. It's basically no reason. So some people were just waiting out there, waiting for the people who are counting the votes to come outside to confront them. Now they had to be escorted to their vehicles, they had to be protected from strangers. And the people counting the votes, they're actually volunteers, which really boggles my mind because it doesn't make sense why strangers are trying to attack a volunteer for just basically counting. So I think next time around, or just in the future, they should not allow any protests or rallies to happen outside the centers. That's really too close to call, really too close to actually see people. You can also see their licenses. It's not safe at all. And my last point of improvement for future elections, also just future debates and future interviews, we need to stop with these long drawn out answers when we ask questions. So reporters and the person that they're asking always goes like this. Hey, so candidate, I've noticed the economy is under distress. What are your steps and action plan to improve on this situation? Well, I think we need to know the economy is the economy, and I believe that we can make it. We have to know, and we have to know the economy, and that's how we're gonna know. And that's what we're gonna do. You see right there, it didn't make any sense. First of all, the reporter fumbling, didn't really have a direct question. Secondly, the person answering the questions, this is all the candidates that I've seen. They're always beating around the bush, they're turning the question around, mentioning the same thing over and over, but not giving us any real direct points of action. And so we're moving in a new chapter in life right now. Many people have voted. Joe Biden is our president and our vice president is Kamala Harris. Now we have to hold them accountable. And here are some interesting facts about this new presidency. So number one, Jill Biden, which is Joe Biden's wife, is gonna be the first lady with a full-time teaching job. Crazy. Kamala Harris, she is our first vice president as a female, and also her husband, Doug Emhoff, will be the nation's first second gentleman. Crazy facts, huh? Let's see what they do. Remember, we have to hold everyone accountable. These points of improvement is about improving life, and also it's about improving the stress. We're going through so many things right now, so it's only right that we try to make steps that can improve life and also make it easier for everyone. We really need to hold everyone accountable. Let's hold everyone accountable. Thank you.